So this is the latest into a season. The Pistons have been in first place in 18 years. They kept it rolling last night. Let's check in. Cade Cunningham and the Pistons hosting the Wizards early in the third quarter. The Pistons up by 4. Jalen Duren, watch him here, corrals the offensive board. He's been a monster here, Shanae.
Unbelievable. I feel like Detroit might be my honorary team. You know how we always pick a team that we're rooting for because they play the right way and they've got a superstar in the making? That's that guy right there, Cade Cunningham.
What you're going to see in this highlight, Brian, is a lot of Cade Cunningham shooting as well.
He shot the ball 45 times. But they were missing some guys. It was the guys were tired. He had to do it.
He did have 46 points. He also had 12 rebounds, 11 assists.
He had a great assist we're going to see in a minute.
Well, the Wizards up 3 here. C.J. McCollum drives by the defender, looking spry.
Yeah, a little fine wine there.
40
floater.
40 piece.
42, 6 rebounds.
All right, watch this pass. There's a 7-foot guy in front of him. Just
bowling
pass
ball.
it.
And then Dennis Jenkins.
That's a two-way guy ready to shoot. Ready hands, Shanae.
Keep him up. It wasn't the last time that we would see that, Shanae.
Held that follow through.
Just over 1 minute left in overtime. The Pistons down 2 here. Cunningham to Robinson.
Yeah.
Robinson nails a 3.
Yeah.
All right, so the Pistons
Look
up by
at the
1
passion
now.
in Detroit.
You seeing it. Paul Reed misses the free throw. McCollum gets the rebound, pushes it down the court. McCollum drives.
Oh!
The runner.
Man, that
Doesn't get it off in time and misses. The Pistons win 137-135. How many shots did you say that Cade took?
4, 5.
4, 5. He was on one. He became the first player.
A lot of dots there.
His teammates must really trust him and love him.
10 rebounds, 10 assists, 5 steals in a game. Since steals became official, it's safe to say he had the green light.
Lime green.
45 shots, the most in a game in Pistons history. His 31 misses, they're also the most. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on this. The Pistons' young duo of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. They are leading the way for the top team. Yes, you heard that right. In the East early on this season, they each have had 7 double-doubles, which is the most for any duo in the league this year. And half of that dynamic duo joins me now. Jalen, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us here on NBA Today.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. I mean, we got 2 hard-fought close wins here. Over 77 minutes played in 2 days. A little extra time in the ice bath today. How are we feeling?
Yeah, definitely a little extra time in the ice tub, but it's been good. I'm feeling good.
It's been so much fun to watch. You've been a beast, for lack of a better word, on the boards all year long here. You added 7 offensive rebounds last night, 2 off of Cade Cunningham misses. Have you ever been a part of someone taking 45 shots in a game?
No, I don't think so. That might have been the first, but, I mean, we live and die with whatever decision he makes, man. That's why he's our leader. He's gotten us to this point.
I mean, is it time, do you say to JB, hey, can I get 40 shots up in a game next time?
Nah, I don't look at it like that, man. I just do my job to the best of my abilities.
Well, you've been doing your job to the best of your ability, because a big reason why your team is rolling is the pick-and-roll combo you got with Cade. What's been the process over the last few years building that chemistry with him?
I think it's a mixture between the bond we have and that we've been able to grow off the court. Just, you know, we became close friends and just getting to know each other, you know, personally. I think that's helped our chemistry on the court, being able to talk to one another, being able to communicate through any tough decisions, any, you know, tough situations, high intense situations in the game. And honestly, I think IQ-wise, we both have high IQ. We both, you know, want to make the right play and the right read at all times throughout the game, and it just, you know, it comes together.
It's been amazing to watch. It's been a heck of a journey. I think back on that 28-game losing streak you all had, and how that formed. I mean, you almost at some point, I imagine, you get used to losing, which is something you never want to have as a player. How good is that to have behind you, and how does that motivate you?
It motivates me every day. Just seeing where we started out, or where I started out, and seeing where we are now, I mean, it's motivation. It's motivation to keep going. It's motivation to know that, you know, the work that we're putting in behind the scenes and in practice and the day-to-day is actually paying off. And, you know, I'm excited for more. You know what I mean? Like I said, we haven't done nothing yet. We've just shown that we've improved over the last couple of years, but I think as we continue to work, then, like I said before, sky's the limit.
Jalen, for anyone at home who maybe said, all right, like the Pistons are on a little early, we're out here on the West Coast, or maybe I can catch the highlights a little bit later. What's your message for folks who haven't yet tuned in to Detroit basketball and what you all are building?
I'll say if you haven't yet tuned in, I think you're missing out. If you are a basketball fan, if you like basketball, then I think you would love to watch us play. Yeah, tap in. You know what I mean? We got a lot of great players, and it's still early. It's a lot more excitement left to be had.
Heck yeah, I can second that. They have been one of the Mavericks ownership to fire Nico Harrison as the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. That happened earlier today. Now, in 4 seasons as GM in Dallas, Nico was the driving force behind the trading of Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, but he also oversaw Jalen Brunson leaving in free agency as well as acquiring Kyrie Irving, and that helped propel them to the 2024 NBA Finals. Now, you don't need to read all this. Just know that Nico was busy in his tenure as GM, but it did come at a price. The Mavericks triggered the second apron when D'Angelo Russell was signed to that tax mid-level exception. Plus, Dallas doesn't have full control of much of their future draft capital. They only have 2 available first-round picks to trade in the next 7 years. So take a photo of that, read it later. Back with us here on NBA Today is our senior reporter, Tim McMahon here. 3-8 was not the start, McMahon, to the season that the Mavericks ownership had envisioned after acquiring Cooper Flagg with that first overall pick. So why have the Dallas Mavericks made this move today?
Howdy again, Malika. Why didn't they make this move last summer? I mean, the relationship with the fans was not going to be repaired. Nico Harrison was always going to be the guy who traded Luka Doncic. And look, you want to talk about the benefit of hindsight. Hindsight at the time of the trade was Luka had just led the league in scoring, averaged almost a triple-double, and took your franchise to the NBA Finals. And by the way, he was just about to enter his prime. That was something that was never going to be forgiven. It was simply a matter of time even entering this season. And then they get off to a 3-8 start. They are one of the worst offensive teams in the NBA. Oh, by the way, while Luka's leading the league in scoring, Nico Harrison could not continue to be the focal point for this fan base. Time to turn the page, time to focus on Cooper Flagg, time to focus on building around him. And as you mentioned, there are some built-in challenges because of the picks you gave up while successfully building a contender around Luka Doncic.
Right, so they gave up all of these assets. They had this fan base that was really tuned in to this organization for years and years and years, through the Dirk years, the Luka years. But that's sort of started to change here. As you can see, they finally had a change in their sellouts 24 years consecutively. That was snapped this year, October 29th of 2025. And that, I just think, symbolizes the disconnect from this team and their fan base. So joining us now is our front office insider, Bobby Marks. Bobby, what happens now? This feels like step one. What do the Mavericks need to do next?
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, Matt Riccardi, who is the interim GM right now, I hired him in Brooklyn, and he was my assistant there. So knowing Matt, I think there's a short and there's a long-term approach as far as how you look at this. The short term is that you're going to continue evaluating the roster. Fortunately, 6 out of your next 7 games are at home, and hopefully that you're going to get Anthony Davis back here soon. I do think there still is a priority, Malika, to try to address that point guard situation. We saw D'Angelo Russell start. We saw Brandon Williams start last night. How do you fix that leading up until December 15th? I think the biggest question for me, and you outlined it perfectly, where they are at the second apron this year, where they are with the draft equity moving forward or lack of. Does Matt and Michael Finley, who are the co-interim GMs, have authority to go out and make a big move when we get closer to the February 5th trade deadline? Remember, 90% of players will be eligible starting December 15th. I'm not saying a Luka Doncic type trade, but do they have authority to shake up this roster over the next couple months here?
Do they, Tim? I mean, when you say a big trade, what I think of and what I think Dallas Mavericks fans may be asking, is Anthony Davis someone who's on the roster? Is that the question that's being asked around Dallas right now, Tim?
I think that's the question that's going to be asked as Patrick Dumont is meeting with Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi. Also, as Patrick Dumont is interviewing other potential candidates to take the job on a full-time basis. Is there a quick fix? Let's be honest. Probably not, okay? You have to take a long-term view. You were gifted, 1.8% lottery chance gifted, a potential generational talent, an 18-year-old Cooper Flagg. the long-term view building around Cooper Flagg has to be the priority over any quick fixes. That 3 to 4 year window got fired today. Okay, that's gone. It never really opened. It's absolutely closed now. The long term has to be the priority. And if you're prioritizing the long term, your question, do you explore the trade market for Anthony Davis, has to be asked and has to be discussed.
Let's talk about 3 knowns, okay? One known is that AD and Kyrie Irving have basically not played together at all.
Yeah.
Basically relative seconds they've played together. So not only do we really not know how they match up, we don't really know what they can do this season. We don't know when Kyrie's going to come back, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, as Bobby laid out, the Mavericks control their draft in just 2 of the next 7 years.
Right.
But one of them is 2026. And the third thing that we know is that this is a generational draft.
Yep.
So this is not really a conversation necessarily have in November, but as this season goes along, as you watch NBA Today, what you're going to be hearing more and more of is teams beginning to struggle with what they should do with their roster looking at this draft. And I now have the Mavericks in that basket. That decision is probably not going to get made today. That decision has some unknowns because of Kyrie's health, but they are going to be a team because this is actually a draft pick that they control, and they've got an 18-year-old that is their future, who the dream would be you could put somebody next to him that is going to be on the plate of who's ever making big decisions later this season.
And you have the parent of that 18-year-old draft pick to generational talent in Cooper Flagg reposting things on social media about how he should not be needing to listen to fire Nico Harrison chants as he's trying to get his footing underneath him in the NBA. Now that is not going to be the case. They have fired Nico, but the decisions now are only beginning for the Dallas Mavericks, who, like you said, are having to say, okay, we're done with this 3-4 year window thing. Who is going to be the players that we need to move forward with now in order to build a contender potentially later? Gentlemen, there's a lot to get to, and you said it, Brian, we're going to be unpacking this for the next several days, but I know what we should unpack right now, and that is some highlights from around the league. Our big 3 last night. We had such